to get your fix.
Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready to get your fix?
With the Wicks here on this beautiful Tuesday, June 14th, 2022, and welcome to the show, whether that's on Facebook or on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, do me a favor. Hey, hit that share and hit the like. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe. Be much, much appreciated. So hopefully you guys had a wonderful night last night. I mean, it was hot as shit after we had the recent showers over here in Minnesota. Well, then we fast forward to today. Damn near 100 degrees, okay? Humid as fuck. I mean, it has got to be the most humid that it's been in, well, quite a while, it feels like. I mean, obviously quite a while because we just got out of winter, all right? But what I'm trying to say is, like, the last couple of years, feels like this whole about a week and a half, 2 weeks has just been brutal. But it's awesome because it means summer's right around the corner. I'm pumped for it. And when summer's right around the corner, that also means NFL football is right around the corner as well. August 4th is the Hall of Fame game. And I'm pumped for that. But today we have to get some news around the National Football League. Like, are the Bills going to go on a Super Bowl run? Seems that way. We'll talk about that in just a couple minutes. Also, we had head coach of the Washington Commanders, Ron Rivera, speak on the current situation regarding Terry McLaurin and his contract extension and him not showing up to mandatory minicamp. And, well, rest in peace to Pizza Hut. Little Caesars has become the official pizza sponsor of the National Football League. And Derrick Henry, okay, tore his ACL last year, made an appearance late in the season, basically the last playoff game. I kind of knew that he wasn't going to do the greatest. I even said that before he was on the field. He's going to look a little timid out there, and that was the case. They ended up losing, all right, but he showed up to mandatory minicamp. We'll get my opinion on that in just a few moments. And last but not least, Bears star pass rusher Robert Quinn is not expected at mandatory minicamp. So with that being said, are you ready to get your fix? So yesterday we got to talk about Terry McLaurin, in which he said, hey, look, I'm not going to show up to mandatory minicamp. I believe I deserve a contract extension, and those talks have kind of stalled. And with that being said, I'm your best player on your offense by far, okay? And, you know, this is me, I've been known to say, pay your best players. Keep your best players as happy as possible because they give you the best chance to win, all right? That's the most obvious statement anybody can make, all right? I mean, it's super simple, okay? You got Tom Brady. Even though he didn't get paid massive amounts of money, they kept paying him, they kept doing all that. Peyton Manning, okay? You look at other ones around the league who just got paid. Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill. You pay your best players. Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp got paid because you want to keep them happy. When they're happy, the team's happy. And when the team's happy, you just might start winning some ball games. And Washington, even though they did make the playoffs just a couple years ago, had a rough season last year. Defense was all over the place. Offensively, they really couldn't find a click. Okay, Taylor Heineke. Yeah, he was a dog in that playoffs, but I think everyone knows or found out that he's not a franchise guy. Okay, he's kind of like Big Dick Nick out there, gonna go and swing his nuts around and fuck around and win a Super Bowl. And that's what Nick did, but that's not what Heineke did. Okay? Terry McLaurin, with what he's been able to accomplish in that Washington organization, has been unreal. I mean, it's insane to watch. He's a young star. He's up and coming. He hasn't even reached his prime yet, and that's what some people would say, including myself. He still has a couple years, probably maybe 1 or 2 years before he hits his prime, or we're on the brink of seeing him have his best season by far and enter his prime. And he believes he deserves a contract extension. So he's not going to show up to mandatory minicamp, which obviously results in about like $100,000 worth in fines. It's like $96,000 or something like that total in fines for missing 3 days of mandatory minicamp, because that's all that mandatory minicamp is 3 days. And he said, I ain't showing up. I want my contract extension. So Ron Rivera, obviously they started mandatory minicamp, was asked this question by the media, was asked to kind of comment on what he thinks about the Terry McLaurin situation. Well, John Keim on Twitter reported that Rivera on the McLaurin talks said, I believe they're headed in the right direction. Said they began talks with him earlier than they did with Jonathan Allen a year ago. He signed right before camp. Now, I'm not sure if he's talking about mandatory minicamp or if he's talking about training camp. I'm assuming it's training camp just because the fact that they've started mandatory minicamp. And if it is the fact that Jonathan Allen signed before mandatory minicamp and they started these contract extension talks sooner than that with Terry McLaurin, you got to be a little worried. But I won't be too worried, because I think Washington understands that Terry's their best player on offense by far. Yeah, cool. You have Curtis Samuel. Cool. You have Antonio Gibson. J.D. McKissick. Cool. Carson Wentz. Did you see what he did with the Colts last year? I mean, his last game he posted a 4.4 quarterback rating. Give me a break. How does that even happen? It doesn't. And if it does, I don't know if you deserve a job, but Carson does deserve a job in the National Football League. But they got to sign him. And they're going to. But I think they're waiting for the right moment and the noise surrounding their organization to kind of die down. But I think the smart thing to do, if they want the noise to kind of die down around the Washington Commanders organization, which that being the emails that were leaked this past season, and they're still going on as we speak, and the recent fraud allegations where Dan Snyder was supposedly keeping 2 separate books and kind of making one piece of revenue for tickets seem like it was from an NFL event when it really wasn't an NFL event. It was just an event held at the stadium. It's a lot that's kind of happening with the Washington organization. Dan Snyder, a lot of people want him out, or I guess a lot of fans of the National Football League want Dan Snyder to sell the team. And after seeing the Denver Broncos sell for, $4.65 million, you'd think that'd be a little intriguing to him. But also, I mean, if you get a franchise, you want to keep that in your family for as long as possible, for generations to come, because it's a very hard thing to do. And once you get it, it's free tickets, right? It's a free front row seat. It's a lot of money that you'll bring in, but they've been struggling. So I think the right thing to do, sign him, give him a contract extension. Let's have these talks. Give him the money he deserves. Pay him like the other wide receivers that have been paid this offseason. You don't have to pay him, or you don't have to make him the highest paid wide receiver in the National Football League, because I don't think he deserves that deal. But I do think he deserves up towards what Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Mike Williams, what they got with their contract extension. I mean, Christian Kirk got paid, Allen Robinson. The list kind of goes on for the wide receivers, and we talked about it, that got paid. this offseason. Jarvis Landry just got signed by the New Orleans Saints, and he signed a good deal. Hunter Renfrow got an extension. I mean, these receivers are starting to cash in. And Terry McLaurin needs to be the next one. I think if Washington's smart, they'll do that to kind of take a lot of the negative news or the negative remarks made about their franchise in doing so. So Terry McLaurin, not going to be at mandatory minicamp, going to get fined upwards towards the $96,000 range, which he doesn't give a shit. He just wants to get paid, and that's what he should care about because he deserves it. So Ron Rivera spoke on that, said they're headed in the right direction, he believes. So moving forward, for quite some time, Pizza Hut has been the official pizza sponsor of the National Football League. Well, I think their contract was up, and they are no longer the official pizza sponsor of the National Football League. Let's give them a moment of silence because Pizza Hut closed a lot of stores, or restaurants, excuse me, and now they're not in the National Football League where they make a lot of money. They're officially dead. Okay, let's have a moment of silence. Quick 2 seconds. All right, but what the NFL did, all right, and make another poor decision, in my opinion, is make Little Caesars, the new official pizza sponsor of the National Football League, as reported by Ari Mir of Pro Football Focus on Twitter. His handle is @MySportsUpdate. The agreement offers Little Caesars a set of exclusive marketing rights designed to connect the brand with the NFL, its events, and fans. Kind of disappointed in this one. Because, I mean, we all see the commercials, and at the end it's pizza, pizza. No. I mean, it's something like that. It's okay, pizza. It's not the greatest. Okay? I mean, they could have had fucking, in my opinion, Godfather's Pizza better than Little Caesars. Okay? I mean, Domino's is better than Little Caesars. Plain and simple. In my opinion. You guys may have different taste buds and different opinions on that, but in my opinion, Domino's is better. There's other pizza places out there that they could have chose, but they chose. They chose. I don't know why that was so fucking hard. They chose pizza. Little Caesars. Now, it is what it is. Normally, when I go to a game, okay, buy a couple Bud Lights, all right. Can I get 2 Bud Lights? Yeah, no problem. Except in Minnesota, we're fucking sponsored by what is it, Miller Lite? Ugh. No, thank you. Give me a Bud Light, an ice cold Bud Light. There's only one place in the stadium you can fucking find it. The Twins got their shit together, but get 2 Bud Lights or Michelobs. All right, there we go. Perfect. Walk down and see what I'm going to eat today. All right. Got a hot dog? Yeah. Burger? That sounds pretty good. You know what? Give me a hot dog. Give me 2 hot dogs, and I'll go put some ketchup on there. Maybe a little mustard. I dabble in the mustard on the hot dog every once in a while. Mustard's not my favorite thing in the world, but usually I'm going to have a hot dog. I've never once stopped by a pizza place in a stadium and said, ooh, give me a slice. Give me a slice of that. All right, thank you. Never. You know why? Because I can order a whole pizza on my own time, my free time, whenever the fuck I want. And I can do the same with the other stuff. But the other stuff, that's like ballpark food. That's stadium food. Pizza, not really, in my opinion. It just doesn't seem like it's a staple anywhere. I mean, when I went to Lambeau, Lambeau, we were told, stay away from the pizza. It's not the greatest. Stay away from the pizza. But anyways, Little Caesars became the new official pizza sponsor of the NFL. Hopefully it is what it is. Derrick Henry, though, on some more positive news, has showed up to mandatory minicamp. Now, this was obviously a given. This shouldn't be a shocker to anyone, but it made news because it is King Henry, all right, the leading rusher at least 2 years ago. Last year he had an ACL injury in which it didn't really fuck with the Tennessee Titans, okay? It really didn't screw them over, all right? Even though they started like 90-plus people on their roster, it didn't matter. They got the number 1 seed, then they lose to the fucking Cincinnati Bengals, and their season is over. But Derrick Henry played in that last game against the Bengals. And like I said, before that game happened, I think he's going to be a little timid. I don't think they're going to use him as much as we would expect them to use him just because he's coming off that ACL injury and he just got done rehabbing it. It was kind of a quick recovery, it seemed like. So I don't expect them to use him that much. And he was stopped basically all game. And it didn't help that Tennessee threw a pick right away. So, I mean, but he's reported to mandatory minicamp, which is good news. Okay, that is very good news when your veteran players decide to show up to mandatory minicamp just because, right? You want them to get on the same page and build that chemistry with the rookies, with the new guys in town. Not only the rookies, the free agents and all that. So, Derrick Henry has showed up to mandatory minicamp. And finally, are the Bills gonna go on a Super Bowl run? Huh? Are they? I don't know. It's very possible. Very, very possible. And I say that remark because Sean McDermott said this on the Bills' first day of minicamp. Everyone's here. All right? Everyone's here. We don't have a guy holding out. Everyone's at camp, ready to rock and roll. Okay? Regardless of their contract extension talks. They're here. They mean business, okay? Plus, a lot of them want to meet Von Miller, shake his hand, and all that stuff. But everyone's here, okay? And that's good news for the Buffalo Bills. Because if you look at their roster on paper, I think they are one of the most complete teams in the AFC. They've been to multiple playoff appearances. They had their chance against Kansas City and they blew it. Bummer. I think if they win that game, I think they probably end up in the Super Bowl last year. I honestly do believe that for some odd reason. And I think the Bengals ended up beating the Chiefs because of the fact that they played early in the year. They got a front row view of what they did. And plus they beat them in that game. And then they come back and they beat them in the AFC Championship game. But against the Bills, I think you're looking at a completely different outcome. I think the Bills are poised for a run this year. I'm not saying they're going to, but they damn near might. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to make a deep run in the playoffs. Not so sure about the Steelers, and I'm hoping my Minnesota Vikings figure a way out to get there. I'm really hoping that. I just don't see that as a reality. But goddamn it, if it happens, woo, I'll be fucking juiced. All right, Steelers have a little bit of ways to go. I think they got to sign a receiver, even though they got Deontay Johnson over there, okay, and Chase Claypool, and the other guy I can't think of off the top of my head. But if you get if you bring over Julio Jones, even though I don't think that's where he's going to go, or OBJ, probably not going to happen. I think Steelers are set with what they have, but Buffalo is a very solid team, and if they stay healthy, they're going to go on a Super Bowl run, potentially. And if they do, you heard it here first, folks. So are the Bills going to go on a Super Bowl run? You never know. But I think they're most poised, or they either are or one of the top 3 teams in the AFC that are poised to make a Super Bowl run. And last but not least, the Chicago Bears had a little unfortunate situation, but I don't think it's that unfortunate. Bears star pass rusher Robert Quinn is not expected at mandatory minicamp. Because, like a lot of veterans do, like a lot of veterans do during voluntary OTAs, is train on their own. And that's what Robert Quinn is doing. He's staying home. He's training by himself with his trainers and getting the right work in for an even better year than he had last year. And it's going to be hard to top that because last year, Robert Quinn was an absolute freak of nature, an animal, a beast, a monster. You could name it. He was a dog on the football field. 49 combined tackles. Get ready for this. 18 and a half sacks last season with the Chicago Bears. 18 and a half. That's coming after a year where he was injured and only had 2 sacks and like 20 combined tackles or something like that, or just had a down year. And then he has 18 and a half sacks, 49 combined tackles. That is ridiculous. That is the second most sacks that he's had in his career since 2013 when he played for the Los Angeles Rams, or at the time I believe it was the St. Louis Rams, where he had 19 in 2013. Robert Quinn is but this dude, and he's a dude, is so good at what he does. So in 2020, we talked about 2 sacks. In 2019, 11 and a half. 2018, 6 and a half. 2017, 8 and a half. 2016, 4. 2015, 5. And then you look at his pretty much close to his prime years from 2012 to 2014, where he had 10 and a half, 19, 10 and a half. So he's going to get sacks, whether you like it or not. And I think he's only perfected his craft and getting better at what he's doing. But he's not expected at Mandatory Minicamp, which also includes him in Terry McLaurin's situation where he's going to miss out on damn near $100,000 worth of fines. So with that being said, that is all I have for you guys today. I cannot wait for the NFL season to start picking up because then we'll have a lot more to talk about, the games and such, and who got injured, who's staying healthy, who's going to be on your fantasy football team, which we are going to have the Get Your Fix Fantasy Football League start yet again. We had it last year. I did not win, unfortunately. Okay, shout out to Austin Hill who won that game, or that's the league last year. Poor GM management on my part. We'll do better this year, but that will be starting here in, I believe, a month or so. We'll get the links out and stuff like that and get people to join so we can do that. And I believe we'll do the same thing last year where winner gets however much money we decide, however many people we get out of that, and then you also get a free piece of my merchandise per your choosing. All right, so if you don't know, I have merchandise. Okay, I'll post it all again. I'm going to try to get it onto a store this year, and hopefully you guys will be able to buy it that way. So with that being said, have a great rest of your day. It's beautiful out, a little humid, so maybe mix in a water or two. But stay safe out there. Be safe, like I just mentioned. Okay, have fun doing it. Stay happy, because that's the key to life. Just being happy, smiling every day, not giving a damn about somebody that called you a name or anything like that. So have a great rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time, like always. And you just got your fix with a Wix. Deuces.